Hello, wonderful friends. Welcome to another episode of Your Business Story. Today, we are going to talk about creating a magnet lead, and we're going to be using Alex Hormozi's, let me move that into the thing, $100 million Offers by Alex Hormozi. And the subtitle is How to Make Offers So Good People Will Feel Stupid Saying No. And I love how straightforward he is. And basically, he offers this book at cost. And all you have to do is order, I think it's like $13 on Amazon. And he also offers free online classes to go with it. The only thing he asks is that once your business gets from like where you are now to 3 to 10 million, that you consider working with him to scale it to 30 million, which is like, oh my gosh, right? Definite life goals. But so today I have been working on a new magnet lead for Literary Symmetry where I am teaching business owners how to write their very first story, their origin story. And so the steps that I'm going to walk you through for the next 20 minutes, I'm supposed to have my AirPods in. I randomly sing. You'll find that out about me. There we go. Hopefully my microphone didn't switch. Let me see. Seems to be working. Okay. So the thing that you need to know about creating a magnet lead that Alex Hormozi does like flawlessly is you have to understand what the dream outcome is for your client. And for my clients, they feel tongue-tied when they get in front of someone who's like, hey, I have this thing. Can you please help me? And I want to tell you an actual story of a time when I totally froze. And if you've froze before, if you've gotten in front of someone who is excited about your job and then you kind of like don't know how to make words happen, then this story is for you. So I was at a local business in downtown Pittsburgh and I walked into this amazing acrylic store. She like creates earrings, she has purses, she has hair clips. I bought a few of her hair clips, and she's been having difficulty online gaining traction. And she's like, oh, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I'm a copywriter for small and medium, I said medium and large businesses, because at that time I was working with some small businesses, but most of my clients were like medium and trying to grow to large. And she's all, oh, really? And she was like asking me what I could do, like what my prices were to help. And I was like, oh, I'm not really taking new clients right now. And then I kind of ran out the door and my husband followed me and he was like, what is wrong with you? Like, she wants to work with you and you're good at what you do. You could help her store. And I was like, I don't know. I don't understand what just happened. I would love to help her, but I freaked out and then I ran, obviously. And he's like, okay, well, we need to figure out a way for you not to have the same experience again, because she would probably really love working with you. And so I didn't go back in. If something like that happens to you, go back and be like, sorry, I panicked a little bit. I'm really excited about what we could potentially do together. But if you use the magnet lead I'm creating, that will not happen to you, because the dream goal for this, which I'm calling your business story pathway, right? Because my podcast is your business story and I have different your business story vault. There's a theme going, right, guys? Like you need to it's good if you can have consistency in your business. So that's why I have this theme. But the pathway is like a quick class you can do based on my expert knowledge and the systems that I've built for my business to help other business owners communicate their stories. And the first thing that I did was I looked at Alex Hormozi's book, and step number 1 is identify the dream outcome. Once again, this is from his book, $100 Million Offers, which you can go buy on Amazon, or you can get the Kindle version as well, which is even cheaper. But all the supportive online classes for this are completely free. So the first step is to identify the dream outcome. And you can see in this area, I had an idea. I was on a day off and I was like, what if I could just take them through answering 5 questions and then follow up with a 15-minute training so that they can have their own business story in less than 30 minutes without having to slog your way through 30 pages worth of questions. Let's fix that. Or guessing how to use their answers to create the USP, which is unique selling proposition. And it's the reason why you, as a business owner, are the person to help them, right? So like, I'm a copywriter, and there are lots of copywriters out there, but the reason why people want to work with me is because my superpower is I use the power of personal storytelling and the brain science behind that, combined with proven sales psychology, which we have from, so many years of businesses testing marketing. So we have all these different formulas, we have all these different steps that we know work, and I layer those two things together, and what you get is a very effective and delicious communication sandwich. So that's my unique selling proposition. That is why people want to work with me. So as you can see here, this is the problem. So there's always going to be a problem that the person you serve, they have, and they don't know how to solve it. And if they don't believe that you know how to solve it, they won't want to work with you. So this relates back to my story. They don't know how to explain what they do professionally in an engaging manner, right? Which means they miss out on connections with potential clients who would probably love their help if they could better articulate what problem they solve. This is kind of meta, right? Because I'm talking about them solving a problem in the problem I'm solving, and the problem they solve and who they solve that problem for. So you have your who, which is the person you're solving the problem for, and your why. Why do they have this problem, and how do I solve it for them? So you have who, why, and how. I'm putting my fingers out, but I'm just adjusting to this live streaming thing, but we're going to get there, right? I have to practice. So we have the problem they are encountering, and then we can identify the dream outcome. So that's step 1. And in this case, the dream outcome for my clients is they can speak confidently about who they help and what problem they solve, which is literally what I just explained. So, but in a condensed version, right? I only want to take 30 minutes of their time and give them this amazing result. And actually, on my podcast, I have guests on live, and I create their unique selling proposition in front of everyone. But this is for someone who maybe can't get on my show, or doesn't have the access to pay to hire me, $400 to write their USP, to interview them and do their USP. So this is not going to be as good as if I wrote it, but it's something for them to use in the meantime to stir up business. So eventually, once they have the money, they can hire me to work with them and smooth out and fix their messaging so that it draws the people that they love working with in. So the first thing you do, step number 2, after you identify the dream outcome, is you list the problems. And you can see that here I have listed lots of problems. So these are the problems that even you might be having when you think about, how can I communicate confidently about what my business does in an engaging way? So they know what they do, but they can't articulate it when they try to talk about it or write about it. And you know exactly what I mean, right? When you've met someone and you're like, hey, I'm Kristin, I'm a copywriter. And you're like, let's pretend you're at a networking event, okay? And I introduce myself, and I'm like, and they're like, oh, hi, I'm Bob. And I'm like, oh, cool. It's so great to meet you, Bob. What is it that you do? What's your professional superpower? And I always ask that question because it kind of relaxes them a little bit, because I want people to tell me what they do, because I'm interested in that, not just for my business, but because I'm very empathetic and I love connecting with people who are making the world a better place. So I would ask them, like, and let's say Bob can respond in one of 3 ways. The first response that Bob often has is, I'm not sure I have a professional superpower. Dude, if I was a client and you said that to me, or a potential client, I would just peace out. I should also mention I'm from Southern California, and that explains all of my language choices. Even though I'm a certified copy editor and I love proper English, when I'm speaking conversationally, I'm just going to be myself. And if you don't like that, you can peace out yourself. So what I would say to them at that point is like, I'm sure you do have a professional superpower, but listen, you don't ever want to tell someone, I'm not good at what I do. Don't broadcast that. Why are you even doing it if you're no good at it? Like, let's figure out something else you can do. The second kind of response is to stammer endlessly about what they do using all these jargon terms, like these industry specific things that I probably won't understand unless I'm in their target audience, unless I'm in their industry. And that is going to leave me feeling exhausted and bored. It's not going to be good. I'm still not really going to understand what they do. And they haven't established that point of human connection, which is why I use personal storytelling, right? To establish human connection. And the third way is they can tell me in like less than a sentence what they do in a way that I can understand. So the thing that, let me just think of an example here. Let's say that Bob is an IT person. Instead of being like, I do all the things that maintain your systems, da 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 da, what he could say is, if you need help with something on your computer, I'm the person. And you think, oh, really? Because most IT people are well versed in what is happening on the computer. Like for emails, they're the person. For the internet being down, they're the person. For systems not working in your CRM, they're the person. So you contact them. And in that one little short sentence, Bob has now communicated to me exactly what he does, and I will remember that. But if Bob follows that up with a story, I'm definitely going to remember him. And one of the tips that I'll give you real quick, this live stream is almost over for today, but people always remember me, and I make it a point for them to remember me. There are 3 things I do, and I just want you to look at me right now. What do you think 2 of those things are? I have purple hair because I love it. And I wear wacky glasses. These are Iris Apfel glasses from Zenny. I love her collections. I have so many different glasses. I make sure to show up to different places with different glasses. Like if I know I'm going to be at a network meeting, I like write down what I wore the last time so I can wear something new. But so people remember how I look. Even like the grocery store person, like the staff remembers me because of my unique look. I'm writing a book called Wear Bigger Glasses, Take Bigger Risks. That's going to come out next year, all about this. But so those are 2 things. Wear a cool shirt, wear cool glasses, have interesting jewelry, just some kind of visual thing so that they're like, oh, that's the person who had that necklace that I loved. And then the third thing is I tell them a personal story because there's so much brain science behind this. But if I tell them a story and they relate to me, they're going to connect with me in a way that lets them retain that information, because when you use storytelling, information retention is way higher than when you don't. So those are the 3 things that I do to make sure that people remember me. All right, let's look at the rest of these problems really quick. And then next time I hop on here, we're going to go through step number 3, which is really tricky, but Alex Hormozi does a great job of doing this, explaining this. So the other problems are they take too long to say what they do when they try to explain, and others lose interest, which is one of the 3 things I explained. They aren't confident when they talk about the problem they solve and who they help. So the person they're talking to doesn't believe they can help. If you're not confident, then you are not going to get the sale, bottom line. Like that's a mindset thing you have to work on, and I'll give you tips on that as well. And if you want to go to my Instagram, it's at Kristin, TIN.N.Spencer. Instagram, my handle. That is where I give daily confidence tips. So also they are afraid of rejection. This ties into the confidence, and therefore never offer their services to people who have asked what they do professionally, even if that person shows interest in having them help, which is what happened to me in that jewelry shop when that lady was like, oh, I need help with my online visibility. Like maybe I could hire you and we could work together. And I was like, I'm running away because I didn't have my stories planned. I didn't have my one-liner planned. Okay, and sometimes when someone asks what they do, they give a dry answer full of jargon that doesn't have any sort of personal story or human interest built in. If you are boring, they will not remember you, and when they think of that job that you could help with, you are not going to pop into their head, and that's what we want to change. They don't know how to use past wins of clients to communicate how good they are at what they do. This is one of the stories that I help every one of my clients develop. It's a testimonial story, it's a quick win story, and it's something that should take under 2 minutes. So if you have the 30-second version of what you do, and that person is going to stand there longer and they just look at you like, hey, I'm intrigued, I want to know more. You go into the 2-minute story, which is going to be part of this offer, because that's what we're trying to do. Spark interest, create information retention, create that human connection to have the memory, and then convince them with confidence that you are the person to solve their problems. That's all I've got for today. Thank you for joining me. I'm so glad to let you watch my process as I go through this. And I will be back soon and we can go over step 3. I'm going to do it live with you. Talk soon. And don't forget, your business story matters.